Hey guys, it's Scott from the Forgot to Grow podcast. Welcome to week 5 of our countdown to Avengers Infinity War, our weekly countdown series leading up to the big event in May, Avengers Infinity War. And so this week we're talking about the 5th installment into the MCU, Captain America, the First Avenger. The first Captain America solo film that came out in 2011, starring Chris Evans, Hugo Weaving, Tommy Lee Jones, and a bunch of other people. But let's just dive right in. I'm going to break this one down for you guys, okay? So Captain America takes place during World War II, at the height of World War II, and all the fighting and stuff's going on. America's getting involved. And Captain America, he's not Captain America yet. He's Steve Rogers. We can find Steve Rogers in good old Brooklyn, trying to get recruited and trying to enlist in the army. But unfortunately, he keeps getting rejected because he suffers from the same problem a lot of us do, which is too skinny, he's got too many medical problems, he's just not fit to serve. And this really hurts him because all he wants to do is serve his country like everybody else. And in seeing this spirit in him, in Steve Rogers, a scientist recruits him to a special division where he's selected to be tested with the super soldier serum. And it ends up being a success, and he becomes Captain America. Dun 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 dun. Alright, so after being experimented on and becoming Captain America, he had all these powers, he's all big and strong, he's the Captain America you know. But for some reason, the military didn't see fit to use him, even though they wanted to make a super soldier. They didn't want to use him, so they make him into a piece of propaganda. They have him making war films, visiting different states, selling war bonds, just being a piece of propaganda. I don't know how else to describe it. And so he's a little tired of that because that's not how he wanted to serve. He's happy that he's able to serve in some way, but that's not how he imagined he was serving it. And so when his best friend, Bucky Barnes, is captured by the evil Nazi group Hydra, Steve, Captain America, decides that he has to go against his command and he has to go rescue his best friend. And so he goes and rescues his best friend from Hydra, and then they end up taking down a bunch of Hydra factories that were making different advanced weaponry. And after doing so, after a little bit, he ends up having to face off against the Red Skull, the villain of the story, the leader of the Nazi offshoot group Hydra. And so Red Skull at the beginning of the movie had discovered the Tesseract, which is an Infinity Stone, or Infinity Gem, whatever you want to call them. But the point is it's from space, and it's got powers, and it gives him the ability to turn all of the weapon technology for Hydra into this advanced energy tech. And so with this advanced energy tech, they're starting to turn the tide for Hydra in the war. But Captain America ends up taking out a bunch of the factories, and he ends up facing off against Red Skull eventually. And of course, it's Captain America film, so he's able to defeat Red Skull and destroy all the Tesseract powered weapons. That was a hard word for me to think of a way to put it together. The Tesseract powered weapons that the Hydra was using, he's able to destroy all that. But unfortunately, they had sent a plane, Red Skull had sent an airplane on its way to crash into New York with a big bomb on it. And so Captain America is on that plane, and he has to unfortunately crash into the ocean because that's the only solution to make sure that nobody else gets hurt. And so, crashes it into the Arctic Ocean. Just a big plane right in the ocean, and so he freezes. And that's almost the end of the movie, but he ends up being frozen for almost 70 years, but he awakes in what appears to be still the age he thought he came from, the 40s, but he notices something wrong, bursts out of this place, and discovers himself in the middle of New York, 2012. And that's how it ends. Steve Rogers has come to the future, or come to the modern age from the 40s, and he's ready to join the Avengers. That's right, and that's what the post-credit scene's all about. The post-credit scene shows Nick Fury coming and recruiting him for the Avengers, which is the next movie in the MCU in next week's film. But we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves because we're talking about Captain America, but that technically was the whole film, so I guess we could have talked about Avengers. Anyways, that was Captain America. So like normal, I've got 3 trivia facts for you guys before we get going today. Okay, so the first one was that Chris Evans was actually declined the role 3 times before accepting, and he didn't end up having to audition for that. That's because the producers in Marvel really wanted Chris Evans to play Captain America, and so he eventually did after talking with Robert Downey Jr. about how the fame might affect his private life, and Robert Downey Jr. said, well, the benefits are that once you say yes, you can have any movie you can go make you want. And he's kind of right, except you have to wait till you finish making all the Captain America movies first. So that's the first trivia fact for you guys. The second one I have for you is this is Chris Evans' 6th. That's right. He had done 5 comic book movies before Captain America. Captain America was his 6th. So the first of all the Marvel ones he did. He's done at least 6 already for Marvel, so he's at like 10. But this first Captain America movie was his 6th after doing 2 Fantastic Four movies, the movie Push, Losers, Scott Pilgrim, and he did a voice in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that came out in the mid-2000s. And so I have just one last final trivia fact about the Captain America movie for you guys, and that this was the final Paramount Pictures film produced with Marvel Studios. And so what this means is before Marvel Studios was its own big success, they had to partner with other studios in order to get some of these movies made. And in doing that, they gave away some distribution rights and marketing rights. But this movie was the final film that happened, because they decided after that they bought back those rights. Mostly Universal still owns some rights, but they bought back the rights from Paramount for Iron Man and the Avengers and Captain America after that, so that they wouldn't have to share any of the profits after that. But that's the third trivia fact for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. I tried to make it a little bit more quick and concise for you, but that never works out really. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's video, and I hope you join me next week for the Avengers in week 6 of our countdown to Avengers Infinity War. Have a good one, guys.